We'll start off in boys 1A. Defending champion Covenant Christian look to go back-to-back against an Oakwood squad that's had a chip on their shoulder ever since last year. Let's take it to the highlights of this fantastic game. Covenant jumping out to a big lead, but Oakwood would cut into that lead in the second half. Third quarter off the miss. No one pays attention to Jonathan Walden as he crashes the boards and scores in the paint, making it a one-point contest. Let's fast forward to the fourth quarter. Mustangs down by 6. They go inside the Jaden Nesbitt. He misses the first attempt but connects on the putback. Mustangs trail 38-34. And the Oakwood crowd is loving it. Covenant would respond. Trey Kellogg drives to the hoop and scores on a reverse layup. Then it's Kellogg once again, putting the moves on the Oakwood defense and scoring in the paint once again. 13 points for him. Eagles go up by 7 with about 2 minutes to go. 30 seconds to go in the contest. Oakwood down by 5. Walden going inside the Nesbitt, who scores easily, making it a 3-point contest. But Covenant would ice the game with some late free throws, and the Eagles are back-to-back Class 1A state champs. They beat Oakwood by a final of 50-46.
There's been times when I first started this, we were walking around at Wallace State, not playing there, and just thinking, man, I'm never going to get here. I just feel like I'm never going to get here. I don't think we got there for my first 5 years, in the program. And so to be at this point now is honestly unbelievable.
But the big picture is that, we're 28-9 and not 9-28. And so we don't want this final game to determine the success of this year. But yeah, they fought hard, and they've done that all year, and I'm very proud of them for doing that this game.
Opportunities to play for Blue Maps in Class 2A, 3A, and 4A were in place for several Tennessee Valley area teams on Friday here inside the BJCC. Up first with the Morris Hill Lady Panthers playing for a Class 2A Girls State Championship. Coach Flora Sweat was trying to lead her team to another state title this morning against Cold Springs. The Lady Eagles coming out on fire. Sierra Calvin has a great look from the straightaway 3 range and connects from downtown. Cold Springs up 10-2. Near the end of the first quarter, Cold Springs adds to their lead. Macy Brown with the sweet dish to Malaya Taylor for the bucket. Cold Springs on top 18-9 after the first. In the second quarter, Morris Hill went to the youngest player on their team for motivation. Enter Belle Hill, a 13-year-old 7th grader. Watch as she fights her way through the crowd for an inside bucket. Then Cold Springs pays too much attention to Belle Hill, so that leads Emma Kate Wright to knock down a wide-open 3-pointer. Lady Panthers outscore Cold Springs 28-5 in the second quarter to take a halftime lead. In the third quarter, more from Miss Belle Hill. Off the screen, she catches the rock in the paint and scores 27 points for the 7th grader. She was the game MVP, and Morris Hill wins their 8th state title in school history. They beat Cold Springs by a final of 69-47.
These girls started, their intensity went up a couple notches, and they started taking it hard to the basket. We started getting some rebounds, and from there on out, they were ready to roll.
Moving up to Class 3A, Shane Childress and the Clemens Lady Colts had a day with Trinity of Montgomery for the title. Third quarter, Lady Colts up by 1 until Emma Kate Smith lines up for 3 from the corner and connects. Trinity out in front. Let's go to the fourth quarter now. Lady Colts down by 5. Leah Childress with the crossover, the drive, and the bucket. She makes it a 2-point game with 2 minutes to go. But the outside shooting for Trinity was nearly flawless. Maya Mauskowitz draining the 3-pointer, and Trinity beats Clemens by a final of 52-48. Lady Colts finish as the state runner-ups. Despite the loss, Coach Childress is proud of his entire team.
How you gonna handle leading? How you gonna handle being behind? Can you handle both? And we did a good job, except they just caught fire there. And, they're a good team. They're what they do. They're good. But I'm happy. I'm happy for my program and where it's at and the attitudes that we have.
We had a very tight game in the boys Class 3A contest between Plainview and Midfield. Second half, Bears up by 3 until Demarion Baldwin drives to the basket and scores for the Patriots. It's a 1-point contest. On the other side, Landon White makes a power move to the hoop and scores to extend Plainview's lead. As former SEC coach Jeremy Pruitt roots on his alma mater. Late in the game, Dylan Heyman launches a 3 from the corner, and it's good. Plainview wins a close one by a final of 40-37. They are now back-to-back state champs.
It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to build a program. but there's just so many people that do what they can to help us win. There's not a lot of ego. I'm sure we have some problems, ups and downs like everyone else, but at the end of the day, it's about winning. And these guys play with a love for one another and a passion to pursue the state championship.
Coach Terry Nelson and Priceville taking on defending back-to-back state champ Prattville Christian. Lady Bulldogs had trouble defending the paint. Hannah Jones would miss, but Coco Thomas is there for the rebound and putback. Later on, Grayson Prather trying to keep Priceville in this one with a three-pointer from the corner. It's up and it is good. 14 points on the evening for her, but Priceville trailed by 17 at the break. In the second half, it was more of the same for Prattville Christian. Coco Jones ahead of the pack and scores. She had a game-high 29 points, 13 rebounds, and was the finals MVP. Prattville Christian beats Priceville by a final score of 76-59. After the contest, Coach Terry Nelson spoke to us about her special group of girls.
They've left a new legacy for years. I've been looking at banners going, y'all, who's going to be the one to write a different banner? Who's going to be the one to get past a regional tournament? Who's going to win a regional tournament? And the banner's written totally different now. The standard's totally different now.
And finally, top-ranked Westminster Christian tried to finish their season with a state title. They took on Jacksonville in the 4A championship. Fourth quarter, Wildcats down by 5. Chase McCarty working the post and scores with a baby hook shot. Wildcats down by 3. Now on the other end, Jacksonville with a missed jumper, but they get an extra pass down low, and John Broom gets the bucket. Jacksonville back up by 5. Final 2 minutes, Westminster Christian still in striking distance. Eric Robinson coming up with the steal and the bucket. He makes it a 6-point game, but Jacksonville had more firepower, and they got some insurance free throws down the stretch. Westminster Christian falls to Jacksonville by a final of 51-37. Wildcats finish as the state 4A runner-ups.
And, we're not going to hang our heads because we got beat here. This is a great bunch of kids, and they work really hard. And, things like they've done. I think we have a 25-game home winning streak from last year to this year, and then get to here. And, it'll hurt a little while, but they'll get over it and they'll get back and realize what a great year they had.
Good evening, I'm Nick Kuzma. The high school hoop season comes to a close today in Birmingham, but before those basketballs and jerseys are put away for good, 4 Tennessee Valley teams competed for a blue mat. Let's get it started with the AHSAA girls in the Class 5A title game. The Lady Knights in this game for the first time in program history count the bucket and the foul for Lexi Mann. She ended up missing the free throw, 9-all at the end of the first. The second quarter is where this championship was really won. Passed out to Tanya Smith. She connects from deep. Pleasant Grove goes up 6. And the Lady Spartans weren't anywhere near done yet. This time Smith is a distributor. Ashante Monday, she hits the 3-2. Pleasant Grove leads by 12 now. Tanya Smith is named the tournament MVP and scored a game-high 27 points. Pleasant Grove knocks off AHSAA to win its first state title, 53-36.
We had 4 seniors last year and knew we weren't going to have any this year, but I told them at the banquet, they kind of laid the groundwork last year to get us back to where we want to be. And going into this year, from the very beginning, this was our goal. We felt like we could get here.
Now let's jump to 7A. Sparkman girls playing for their first state title since 2007, taking on Hoover, who has won 3 of the last 6 7A girls state championships. From the jump, it was clear the Lady Senators had a tough hill to climb as Hoover led 20-5 at the end of the first quarter. Here in the second, Renaya Kelly swishes the shot that made it 27-8 in favor of the Lady Bucks. Later in the quarter, Sparkman going to try and claw back into this thing. Elise McLean has her reservations for 3 confirmed, but Hoover led by 20 at halftime. There was a glimmer of hope in the fourth quarter when the lead was cut to single digits, but just like the season ended for AHSAA, the Sparkman girls will head back north with a runner-up red map. Hoover wins 55-44.
This program is resurrected. We're going to be back, and we're looking forward to that opportunity to get back. Slow start kind of hurt us. Again, we kind of started slow our last couple of games. Against a team of this magnitude, we know that a slow start would dig a hole for us, and which it did, but the fight of these young ladies, can't be questioned. They did a wonderful job.
The Buckhorn boys and Hazel Green girls also looked home to bring state titles on Saturday afternoon. The Lady Trojans are the 5-time reigning state champions, and with a win over Huffman today would set a new AHSAA record for consecutive state titles. Early on, it's business as usual for Hazel Green. Kicked out to Nyla Collier in the corner. She sinks the triple. The Lady Trojans started the game on a 10-0 run. This girl was almost unstoppable in the first half, too. Leah Brooks pulls up for 2. That made it 14-4 in the second. And then here, Sydney Stewart finds her in the paint. Turn around and swish. Brooks scored 20 points. It was named the 6A Girls Tournament MVP. Hazel Green dominates Huffman 53-40. They set the new AHSAA state title streak record with 6 in a row. It's the 7th championship in program history, and Coach Tim Miller is now tied for the most state titles ever as a head coach with 10. And Miller was asked about that milestone after the game.
I tell them all the time, when I die, they ain't going to put my record in state championships on my tombstone. They're not going to do that. So, yeah, it's great, but I care more about what these girls accomplished than what I accomplished.
Next up were the boys from Newmarket, the Buckhorn Bucks, aiming for their first state title since 1995. Check out this sequence here. The first shot, no good, but Caleb Holt pokes it away from the rebounder. It goes back to Kyler Douglas. He lays it in. Bucks up 3 after that. And here they're up 7, but Mountain Brook makes it closer with a 3-ball by Jeremiah Wilson. Still, it's 44-39 Buckhorn going into the last quarter. And now let me introduce you to the Caleb Holt show. He gets it up top, and it's a splashdown from downtown. Bucks up 9, and now watch this young man jump out of the gym. He's just a freshman, folks. Holt scored 32, was named the 6A Boys Tournament MVP. And how about it? For the first time since 1995, the Buckhorn Bucks are state champions.
At Christmas we weren't very good. I don't even know that we liked each other a whole lot. But we figured it out and started playing better. And it just came together at the right time. Honestly, I just believe it was divine. There's no other way to put it.
And with that, that's a wrap on the high school basketball season in 2022-2023.